My 28 meters wife 32F keeps throwing divorce in my face over everything. I just agreed and left. I am currently staying with my sister. My wife and I have been together for 5 years, married for 4. We had known each other for years prior. We have 1 kid together who is 4. I am the primary breadwinner in the house as she is a som. It was her choice not to go back to work. For the last year and a half, we have been having arguments about 1 to 2 times a month. To be clear, I do help out with our daughter. I clean, cook, and am involved with both of them. The first time she said she wanted a divorce was when we got into an argument when my sister called and asked if she could stay with us for a bit as she was having relationship problems. Ironic. I said she could. My wife was not happy about that. I pointed out that her friend stayed with us a couple of months prior for 5 weeks and didn't do anything around the house. Plus she was just there. No discussion, no nothing. She was a stranger to me and my daughter. My sister is lovely and has a great relationship with our daughter, and I thought my wife was as well. She ended up staying with us for a week, helping out around the house, cooking, cleaning, and watching out daughter when needed. I thought we both forgave each other and moved on. The fights are usually over something small, 90% are not started. I have suggested therapy and counseling, but she always said we never needed it. Well, I had it last night. She picked a fight saying I was spending too much time at work. And that she feels abandoned and that I'm not a good father. Ended her rant with I want a divorce. I stood up and told her that the only reason I work so much is because she can't stop spending my edit. At the time of the argument I used our money. Typing it out, it came out as my money on accident. We agreed to split the money into bills, future savings, future daughter, and fun money on things we don't need or use. She refused to get a job or go to school to help her out. I provide for the family. For my daughter, I'm always at her important dates, functions, doctor's appointments, anything she needs. She refused to get help through therapy or counseling. I don't want this anymore. I'll have my lawyer send her the papers when she writes it up. I got my daughter's things and left with her to my sister's. It has been 2 days and she keeps calling and texting saying she is sorry. She didn't mean it. She wants to go to counseling and therapy. She needs me. She misses me, etc. I don't know what to do. I love her. She is a good mother. But I can't do this anymore. Internet strangers, please help. Yes, I have a lawyer. For my family and work. I have known her since I was a teen. Comments from the OOP. I have offered several times in the past to help her with finding work or going back to school. Every time, she would shut it down immediately. I told her I would reduce my hours to help, but we would have to cut back on spending. I know parenting is a full-time job. I proposed options. My sister offered to watch her for the week if my wife had classes or work. My sister is genuine and nice to everyone. She is not a gossip or a person who talks behind your back. I do 98% of the cooking, I do the grocery shopping, and 80% of the cleaning, in charge of bath time as well as getting her to bed and waking her up in the morning. All of this while working 60 hours a week. Being at my sister's last couple of days with my daughter showed me that I was doing most of the work. Not much has changed, just finding what show or game she wants to play. I would gladly switch with her. I hate working so much. I miss my family and miss my daughter. My wife's friend was a stranger to me. I had never met her or seen her. She was mentioned, I think, 2 times during our relationship. She wasn't at our wedding. My wife and she were friends in high school. But I guess she moved and lost touch. Years later, she called out of the blue and moved in. Yes, she was a stranger. I know my wife is a good mom. I have had the last few days off of work as it was the weekend. I have this week off as well. When we had our daughter, we agreed on a plan for budgeting until my wife would go back to work or school. We broke it down into bills paid, future savings, daughter's future, and fun money. Over the last year, because of unnecessary spending. It was unnecessary, we couldn't put anything towards future savings. Also, the bonus I got was already spent before I got it. I'm not blameless by any means. I work so much to provide a good life for my wife and daughter. I have fought for our relationship. It is hard to keep fighting when all my partner does is kick me when I am down. I try not to do it when my daughter is around, but my wife doesn't care who is in the room. Update: my 28 meters wife 32F keeps throwing divorce in my face over everything. I just agreed and left. The 30th of July 2023, 5 months later. Hello all. Unfortunately, this is not a sunshine and rainbows update. I posted a few months back about how my wife kept throwing divorce in my face on a regular basis. That was until I did okay, got my daughter and left. I needed to vent, so I posted here. Check profile for original. To clarify some questions I have gotten, I'll refer to one of my comments on my OG post. I want to point out some things that it seems was Mr. looked over. I would do everything again if I had to, including taking my daughter. I have pushed her wife to go out, find a job, get a hobby, meet new friends, and do something, anything. Asked about seeing someone for help, she would not listen or consider anything I have presented. She kept saying no, or she was not the problem. My daughter is my priority. I don't fight with my wife in front of her or around her. I grew up in a bad household. I have been in the position where my dad got angry at my mom. My mom left, and my dad took it out on me. I don't ever want that for her. I don't know what my wife was going to do that night. You can't force someone to get help. They have to want it. Actually want it. If you force someone, they will go through the motions just to make it look like they changed. I'm not blameless in this. But I can't raise my daughter with her thinking this is okay behavior. Or his is how relationships are supposed to be like. I decided when I was young that I would never be like my dad. Okay, so after I made my post, I had a bunch to think about. I decided that I had to make sure she knew how serious I was. We sat down, and I flat out told her that I couldn't do this anymore. The fighting and threatening of divorce has to stop. She agreed and said she would not say it. I told her that the next time it was thrown out, it would be the last time. We agreed to go to couples therapy. It was eye-opening. Things were said, feelings were brought up, and outside professional views helped us understand the other better. After a few sessions, I thought we were doing better. She started to apply herself more. She looked and obtained a job, made some friends and got a hobby. That was until an argument started because we had plans in regards to our daughter that she overlooked and couldn't cancel the other plans she had made with some new coworkers. At what I considered the end of the argument, she said under her breath, "I knew marrying you was a mistake." I looked at her and the thing I remember most is how I did not recognize the woman that was standing there. She looked different to my eyes. I didn't know who the woman was in front of me was. I asked her to repeat herself. She said, "I should have divorced 2 years ago." I walked away and took my daughter to the plans alone, just us two. I ended up filing for legal separation. Under the terms we both signed was something along the lines of, while separated, we are still legally married and will not get involved with anyone during this time period. Finances will be separated but bills will stay as currently split. I would still pay for insurance through work. Other things that were in it were therapy sessions would continue both as individuals and couples. I would move in with my sister, and we had shared custody of our daughter 70 me 30 her. One day, when I had my daughter, I needed my wife to take her. I let her know a week before, and she agreed. The morning of at 7:30 I went to drop her off at the house and noticed an unfamiliar car in the driveway. My first thought was, she must have a girlfriend over. I go ring the doorbell out of respect, but still odd ringing your own doorbell, and wait with my daughter when a shirtless man about 20 opens the door and asks who am I and what do I want. I ask for my wife, he calls her, and she comes around the corner in a robe and her fave goes from curious, shocked, horrified, sad. Needless to say, in 3 months' time when the legal separation ends, I'm filing for a decree of dissolution of marriage. My daughter is safe, she doesn't understand what's going on other than daddy and mommy are not happy with Ekather. As stated above, she is my priority. I guess I did do the one thing I never wanted to do. The one thing I promised myself I would never become. But I guess it could be helped. I end up just like my parents. I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I hope I can just show how much love I have for my daughter and raise her the best I can. Thanks for the support, comments, love, and criticism. OOP on dissolution of marriage. Dissolution of marriage is the fancy way to say divorce. It just means the decree is the court order that ends the marriage. Oop on the other man. He was just as surprised when I asked to see my wife. He said something like I didn't know you were married. Then said I'm sorry, bro. He was just a one-night stand. Top comment. That's FKN hard. One day your daughter will know what her dad did to protect her. I hope you find peace in your life op. Oop replies. I hope she will. Thank you.